All right. Let's see here. So I'm going to work on this thing here. Keep going. Now I've got I've got this going on. I've got my pieces I put in last week, and I've got my holographic projectors, which I've got to work on that yet. I want to work on some things I'm going to work on is a little bit more signage. I'm going to fix these stairs up here. Right now they just uh, kind of got this base going on, so I'm going to just deal with all that. I'm going to grab this piece back here. I'm going to grab these doors, and I'm going to grab, I think, these two pieces back here, just for basic kind of idea. And then we're going to go isolate, so that will work there. And so I'm going to just clean up these stairs here and make sure that they kind of work individually. And so that is the first kind of section I got. Now I'm just looking at the different kind of stairs here, and I'm going to take and work on, let's see here, not the carriage, I think it's the railings. Nope. There we go. Let's see if we can. There we go. We're going to basically bring those over like so. Like that. Kind of fit the offset in there. In fact, actually, some of the stuff we can move back here. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take these pieces and just all these pieces here, and I'm just going to move them back up against the wall like so. And then with this, I think we're going to just move it a little bit further back even. So that will kind of give me that information. And then there's my cat here, of course, who wants some attention and love. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to just kind of grab this, and since this is already kind of done here, I'm just going to grab some of these pieces and go into polygon, and we're just going to kind of pull out and start matching some of these up here. So I'm going to get pretty close. And then, let's see, we're going to grab this side here real quick and just kind of get pretty close in there. In fact, that can probably, I want to just see before we spend too much time on this, if I can go here, and if I'm happy with the stairs, oh, this battery's in my mouse with that. That's what is wrong here. So grab. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to grab, I think I'm going to just grab an edit poly in here. And I think that'll be the easiest. So we'll just add an edit poly on that. And then here, I'm just going to grab these 4 pieces, and I'm just going to extrude those back through like so. And so that way, everything kind of lines up, and I think that works well together. And that way I only have 1 set of stairs versus 2. And then these are going to be my sliding doors, and I think I need to put a frame or something like that in there to get, I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet, but I'm not going to spend too much time on that. So I think this is just going to move over slightly. This is going to move over kind of slightly. And so I think that's a decent kind of process. So we've got these big kind of pieces there. And I'm going to just unshape everything, and I think that works well. I'm going to take these, and I'm going to just move this off to the side here. Same thing with these here, move this off to the side. And I still need to go through and kind of organize and kind of work on individual pieces here. So I've got, let's see here, I've got my cat bothering me here, of course. Yeah, and then so I've got those, and I'm going to just start labeling some of the stuff as I go. So I just makes life simpler. So this is food dog 2. And I think the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to get I'm going to get another vehicle in there. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to probably take something like this here, and I want to kind of piece it together with some priorities of how things are kind of put together. And so my thought process on that is actually pretty simple here. So I'm going to convert this box to an editable poly, and I'm going to just cut up some shapes here real quick, just to get a base idea of the way things are looking here. And so we're just going to grab this polygon here. Let's extrude that out. And so I'm going to just do one of those really weird, ugly box cars. Probably something along lines like that. So it's about the size of a mid-size car, maybe a little bit bigger. And then we're going to add in some wheels here. And sometimes, doing things are working on things that are kind of really, I don't know how do I want to put it. You want to put things together so that they make sense. So I'm just going to do real quick here, cylinder, and W, viewport. Let's see here. I think that's front. Zoom. No, viewport. Let's do viewport right and zoom. Okay. So with that in mind, then we can just add in our kind of base tire here. I'm just gonna do something like this. Do something like that. Probably roughly like that. Hit OK. And just going to move something like that. And then as far as these go, I don't need to have 5 segments. And I'm going to have a radius of 1. And delete. And so just kind of like so. And I'm going to just move these over here like so. Alright, and so that's my base object for my vehicle. And with that done, I'm just going to file, export selected, and I'm just going to create a FBX here. So this is going to be the truck FBX. We're just going to do right to my desktop. Everything else is saved there, so like so. And then I'm going to go create a new version of Max. And hello, Wobberoid. Wobberoid. And so I'm just going to, oops, actually let's do a different version here. don't want to ever mix versions of Max or Maya and all that stuff. Otherwise, you just run into issues. So, let's see what we got here. Okay, so this one's 2019. There we go. And let's close this one. There we go. That's what I want right here. 2018. Okay. So I'm going to go and import desktop, and I always save that backwards, and so I'm just going to say import like so. And so that is my base right there. Waveroid. Oh, okay. Well, if you have any questions, just give me a holler. Let me grab this. So I just went and did a search here for flat trucks, and I'm just going to put that off to the side here, just to kind of give me kind of my base idea. And so, oops, let's see here. So let's Alt W, and I'm going to just start blocking some of these things out. And so, really simple. You know, when I do this type of thing, I keep things as simple as possible. I really find that the more you try to, you know, stay away from the existing form of things, you will have more and more issues. And so, let's see here. I'm going to grab, as long as I got these, I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to grab these and move them a little back here. So it's going to have something like that. And then I'm going to just kind of start focusing on kind of shaping the cab. And the cab is, you know, simple. We can grab this top here, scale just it slightly, something like that. And then I'm going to start shaping up things here. So I'm going to go to edge mode, and I'm going to just go to chamfer. And just going to start grabbing some of these edges. Now, I'm not too worried about the n-gons and things like that right off the bat while I'm shaping things. And so, yeah, I'm just going to get kind of my base object there. Let's add a swift loop in here. Roughly like that. Grab that piece, kind of move that out just a hair. Maybe undo that. And let's grab the one above it too. And there's my other cat looking for attention and love. Yeah, my other cat here. Attention and love. That's all they want. And alright. Yeah. She's the vocal one though. So once I get that idea in there, and let's see here, what else? I'm going to only work on half of this. So once I've got the base shape down, I'm going to, I think I'm going to just split it right now. So I generally work on half here. And I'm going to hit delete. And then I'm going to start building up kind of the overall functions. So I'm just going to do some real quick cuts here. Something like that. I'm going to cut that over like so. And like so. And so that gives me kind of a base process here. And then I'm going to do, let's do another swift loop here. Something along the lines of like this. And then let's cut like so. And I think what I'm going to do is we're going to play with this flatbed a little bit more. So I'm going to grab these two pieces and I'm going to move those down here. Yeah, it's kind of screwing with my stuff, but I'm going to grab these corner pieces like this. And I'm just going to delete those. And I'm going to grab these, and we're just going to extrude that inward, like that. Something like that. I'm going to grab these and hit delete. And then let's go to vertices here. And I'm just going to collapse those. I'm just using a real quick shortcut key I programmed for that. And let's see here, grab that, delete that. Okay, so already started getting that kind of truck style feel in there. And I'm going to grab, let's see here, let's grab, and the thing about these, vehicles, trucks, whatever you kind of tend to do is you just want to grab a good kind of feeling for everything here. So I'm going to grab this and go here, grab this, kind of move this up a little bit, and let's cut here, and I'm just going to cut straight up, so that one cuts there, and I'm going to cut straight up, and that one cuts there. And so I think I'm going to grab, yeah, you see she's very upset here and wants me to give her love and attention. So I'm going to go in here to polygon, grab this, and we're just going to extrude that one outward like so. And I'm going to grab this edge loop here and pet my kitty. And then let's chamfer this here. And let's see what I can do about this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, I don't know, let's grab this and kind of bring this over like so. And let's chamfer that. And sometimes it's just better to chamfer things according to, there we go, to numbers. So let's just grab that kind of like so. And so I've got kind of the rounded look and feel. And sometimes I norm things just to kind of give me a feel and look here. Chamfer is actually, it's actually really powerful. There's a ton of things you can do with chamfer. I foresee this here, so let's fix this here. So chamfer is actually, collapse that. Chamfer, one of the things you can do with it is actually pretty neat. So let me see if I can build that in here real quick. So like if I'm building, I gotta fix this before I do it. So if I'm building like a gap in here, okay, I'm gonna grab this loop all the way down, probably something like that, and I don't want to get the main body of it. Ooh, ugly. There, let's fix this real quick. I collapsed something. See, always pay attention to what you collapse, because things don't necessarily work out. But anyway, there we and then let's move that roughly straight and something like that. Okay, so going back to this, chamfer can do quite a bit. I mean, you can. There's a ton of things that you can actually do with it, and so one of the cool kind of tools that you can work with is if you chamfer, you can actually make things disappear. So we can kind of break apart things accordingly. And so I can do something like that, and you can see here that it's giving me this weird pattern because it's not well connected in here. So I'm going to have to, I'll accept that. And then I'm going to grab this and I'm going to break it. Or split it, I think. And by splitting it, that breaks that apart. And then you can see here that starts breaking that apart. And then I'm going to go into vertice here, and there's, looks like I kind of broke this all up. So let's see if we can break this. And there we go. So that breaks those two down. I'm just going to grab that. I'm going to grab this. And we're going to grab something like that. There we go. And so that, you know, it kind of breaks things up so you can actually seam things out together. And that didn't look good. Let's see what's going on in here. Looks like I really broke this. Wow. So let's fix this up real quick here. And clean that up. And then let's grab there. So I don't know why that did that, but let's go back here and let's grab these two and hit bridge. So that fixes that. And so we can go through and, you know, start building in like different components now. Just a matter of, you know, picking the right components and kind of building things accordingly. So I'm going to start forming out, and that's the big thing is making sure your form is looking good, because if your form is kind of off, then your form doesn't ever really look well. And then we're going to, let's actually cut this from here to here, and so I'm going to just basically grab that, and let's polygon this, and let's extrude that out. So there's that. I'll grab that, hit delete, and I'm going to just grab let's actually grab a polygon here, and let's inset that. And again, if you're working too small, make sure you get it. There we go, like that. And so I'm just going to scale a little bit in, kind of scale a little bit down here. And let's extrude that one inward a little bit, like so. And then I'm going to grab my edge loops. So I'm just going to grab all the way around here like so. And I'm going to see if I can grab these 4 as well. And let's chamfer by the numbers because put that back in there. Like so. just going to hit plus. I'm going to grab something like that. And I think that'll be, oh, that goes all the way through. Yeah, I guess that's okay. So I'm just rounding things out. Now I'm just going through and let's collapse some of these pieces here. Something like that. And I'll play with that a little bit more. But I'm trying to get, like I said, I'm trying to get just the basics down here. And so just by getting the basics, you know, basic shapes and things like that, makes a huge kind of portion. And then with this, I'm going to grab this here, and we're going to move that something like so. Probably this something like so. And maybe I'll play with this a little bit, but I'm not too worried about this right now. There we go. And so, okay, got my base truck going on, and then I'm going to start building in like different assets. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this and bring it up here a little bit closer, and then actually I kind of like that idea. So let's grab this like so. And I'm going to straighten that down. And it's not changing my shape too much, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to chamfer that again. And with the chamfer, then I'm going to go up here and grab the, oops, darn it. Let's try this again. Let's go chamfer. Let's kind of separate. Let's do numbers again. Alright, so there we go. Let's go up here, polygon. Grab this polygon, and I'm going to slowly add in a little bit less here. And I'm going to grab that, move it over, and probably move it down a little bit. And so that gives me kind of this neat little rim here. And that is kind of the start of that. And then let's cut in. I'm just going to cut in all the way on here. I'm going to cut all the way across here like so. And that's going to give me my there we go. Okay, and so this now is my, I need to cut one more here. So this now is my radiator process. So I'm going to have to build that in. This is my, probably going to cut over here. And this is my, like, there we go. So I've got my bumper, my headlamps type thing. Then I'm going to have my windows and doors up here. I'll put on, you know, like cameras or something like that. Maybe lights. And I got to figure out how I'm going to do the tail end here. But that's pretty much the basic shape of this. A glove is, you know, it really depends on how you do, you know, a glove. You can actually just start with a box, and I don't actually chamfer much on that. I just kind of plan it out when I'm making the when I'm making the actual form, I just kind of plan it out. I use like the clone function a lot more to do fingers and things like that. Okay, so the next section is let's get some real tires in here. So all right. So I think I'm going to do for tires, let's undo this because, oops, undo that. All right, so I've got my tires here. And what I'm going to do for the tire is essentially start off with a plane here. So let's do something like that. And I'm going to keep this tire really simple. But in order to do that, I'm just going to kind of break like that. And let's convert this to a plane. I don't know. I might have to add more. But and so what I'm going to do is take, let's go an edge here and grab every kind of other one here. And we'll call that way. And I'm just going to move it to the side like so. I'm just going to control backspace that out here. And then I'm going to grab, actually, I need to grab every other one. I'm just going to grab it like that. And so that is kind of my process, like so. I'm going to grab this, move that back into kind of a straight line, grab that, move that back into kind of a straight line, and then I'm going to do a quick slice here. So what I'm going to do is, oops. So I'm going to cut from here something like this. Like that. And something along the lines of like this. I'm just going to cut. And I'm just going to cut that in there like so. And then we're going to grab this and we're going to pull these back like that. Like that. I think that looks good. And so I'm going to grab and I'm holding Control to start it, and then Shift to. So Control and then Shift. And before I get too far into this, actually, let's go into. I'm just going to make sure. So I'm going to cut, and then like so, just to make sure. It's not pretty, but and then I'll have to go back and reselect on the edge here, this edge, and this edge. I just want cleaner edges. Okay, and when I go back here, I just have a little bit to clean up. So now that that's in there, I'm going to extrude that. Ooh, way too much, but that's okay because I'll just move it back down. So I'm going to move it something like that, and that's going to be my. That's going to essentially be my kind of tire, if you will. And I can put treads, and I can do a lot more. But that's fine. So I'm just going to go through here really quickly. Delete. Delete. All right. So with that in place, I'm going to grab element, and I'm going to just, escape that, undo that. Let's try this again. So I'm going to grab this. And I'm going to clone it to an element. I don't know, maybe 5 of these. I don't know how many I need. Let's see how this looks here. And then, so these are all separate pieces now. So I'm just going to go like this, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go weld. And the 0.1, of course, is too much. So let's try 0.01. And that should do it right there. So now, if I click element, everything's selected. All right, so we got my tire tread here. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bend modifier on here. So, and I just want a little bit of a curve, not like kind of crazy. I'm just going to get the right. So I'm just going to curve this really quickly here. Keep this at 0. And let's do a little bit. And there we go. Very, very, very simple. Not much of a curve at all. So that looks good. I think so, yeah. That looks decent. And then I'm going to grab another, let's grab it at a poly and put it on top of that. I'm going to grab my edge loop here. And I'm just going to do this. Let's grab both edges here. Don't do that. So this one, let's grab let's go. I wonder if I can just do orthographic here. There we go. And so make this. Come on here. There we go. I'm just going to kind of hold shift out like that. Grab that. And I'm just going to hold shift and it's going to extrude it down like so. So I'm not going to worry too much about the inside. Especially on something like that. But what I'm going to do is start adding swift loops in here, maybe 2, and just start rounding some of these out here. So that gives you kind of that flat look feeling. Then we're going to go in and do another bend modifier. And this time, angle is, I think it's 360. Nope. And then let's see here. Angle. Angle. Let's do 180. So that's going to angle things like that, but I need to angle it in the right version here. So, and let's grab the gizmo. And the gizmo is this right here. So as I start moving things, you can see it's moving the gizmo. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to just see if we can rotate the gizmo here, 90 degrees. So I'm going to do that. Let's try 90. Oh, negative 90. There we go. 360. And it's a little ugly looking, but let's see if I think we want it bigger here. Yeah, it's ugly looking, so I'm gonna have to add more in there, which is actually kind of simple. So once I've got this done in my edit poly, I'm gonna go to my element here, grab this. Actually, you know what? Let's undo. Oops. Take that out. There we go. Then we can go back through the gizmo, and then let's do 360, and let's move the gizmo as big as we want. That's what I want. There we go. And I think maybe a little bit smaller. So there's my gizmo, and that's my tire, and it's really, really simple looking, but it gets the point across. I mean, I don't have to have, you know, I can spend as much time as I want on the tire. I can do normal maths, I can do whatever, but this is fine. I mean, I'm just modeling a tire real quick here, so I'm going to grab this and kind of hover that in there. And let's do a line. Actually, let's do affect pivot, center to object, go back, then we go here, and we go into let's undo that. Let's align this. Oh, I did it backwards. Let's cancel that. Let's do this one and align it to this one. And they're going to do pivot center. That's fine. So that gives me at least a base starting point. I can always move it where I want it. But so there's my tire. I can make as much tread as I want. All right, just hit delete on there. Oops. There we go. G. There we go. Zoom in on that. So, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do I'm going to do two different things here. The first thing I'm going to do is, let's go viewport, I think front will do it. So you can see here my tire right around there. So Shift Z and create a line, and I'm just going to kind of something along the lines like that. And then we're going to go here, and I'm going to grab a lathe modifier, and we are going to do, I think, max. I never get the XYZ right here. There we go. So let me see what this looks like. And let's do minimum. No, max. Center. Max. Okay, let's try this again. So let's undo that. Oh, okay. Let's do center. Max. What did I do wrong here? I don't know. Alright, so let's, before I get too far in this, I'm not going to do 360. I'm going to do, let's do 45. And that's why it's going all wonky on me. So let's delete that. And so my center is here, and it's screwing things up. So let's affect my pivot, tab, snap it to there we go. So that should be okay. Let's try this again. Lathe, perfect. Okay, so 45. Let's get the right direction going on here, like so. That looks good. I don't need as many of that, so I'm going to do 3. Yeah, 3 sounds good. And let's flip the normals so it looks like that. Go to vertex here. And I'm going to add in so you can refine it. Let's connect 1 and then 2. I'm just going to move that off the side here like so. And same thing here. Oh, I got my snap on. That's why it's giving me some weird problems here. Anyway, so back to the lathe, and I'm going to grab a poly on top of this, and I'm going to go in here and we're going to actually let's just go here. So I'm going to grab, I don't know, maybe 3 of these, hit like so, and then when I NURM it, when I NURM it, so I have to do that manually because apparently, oh wait, this is edit poly, so this one doesn't have NURMs. Okay, so let's collapse all. Before I do that, I want to go into hold yes. I want to go into rendering, or no, interpolation. Let's change this to about 3. Hold and yes, and so that gives me there we go. Edit poly, so just going to do something along sides like that. Collapse all, say yes. And when I NURM it, it'll smooth it around like so. So all I'm going to do is NURM that real quick. And then let's go to Tools, Array, and rotate this. And I think I need it, let's try 8. And let's try 45. It's the preview box. Wrong angle. Let's try X45 and then 0. And there is that. And so just make sure I got 8. Good. So that's my hubcap now. And then I'm going to go into here. And break that one free. Go to Edit Geometry, Attach, and attach all these in the spot. And then let's go to Weld. And target weld. No, not target weld. Let's do a weld here. And did I weld already? Let me just double check. Okay, so I did not weld already. So weld. Oops. Here we go. Let's take that and let's do 0.1. Let's snap that by 2. Oh, here we go. Let's go Control A. There we go. So this looks good. And let's snap. Snap this to midpoint. No, center. Pivot points. Let's see if that works. So snap. And uncheck vertice here. Alright. So basically, we just go through here. And we scale. Let's grab this. I'm going to just scale this a little bit smaller. So and that looks pretty good. And we just need to kind of grab this piece and kind of move it like so. And then what I'm going to do is really quickly add a turbo smooth on there. If I can find one here. Mesh smooth will work too, but I kind of got used to using turbo smooth. So there was turbo smooth. And it kind of rounds things out a little bit, adds a little bit more geometry. And then I'm going to add a shell to it. So we're going to find the shell here. And what a shell does is do 0. And we're just going to add a little bit of thickness, something backwards like that. And so that'll give me kind of that look right there. And so I can still see through the object, but it gives me my base to start with. And so I'm going to just type in hubcap and tire, and then let's delete that, grab these two, hold shift like so. Okay, so there's that. Alright, and so I've got a base going here. I'm going to save this because I have a tendency to have things crash on me. So this is the truck. Sci-fi 1. Okay, so I'm going to dump these. I'm not using them anymore, so that's good. And so yeah, I'm just, you can see really quickly how I'm getting kind of the form going on, and different pieces. And so what I'm going to do next is we'll work on the cab after this is done, and get that going, and then I'll place it in my regular scene here, which I'm going to actually save off here. So let's hide all this, and let's do. So yeah, this is my next scene here, And it's always nice to like grab this stuff here, and I'm going to just kind of grab that and delete that. And you can see, I mean, I've only put in maybe, 10 or 15 hours in this so far. So I'll put another truck in there. And I don't know if I'm going to do another car or not. Maybe I will play with this car and see if we can kind of like manipulate it. Or maybe I'll just put that car in there and kind of warp it around a little bit to give me a different kind of look and feel to it. But that'll be it. And so we get kind of our base going for our truck. And once the truck's in there, we will, I think after that I'm going to have to start unwrapping and texturing and doing things like that. And so that'll be just kind of a process by itself. All right, but if you guys had any questions. If you guys have any questions, give me a holler. I mean, you can get me through Twitch or Facebook or any one of the methodologies that everybody uses. And yeah, the buildings, this is, in case you haven't seen this before, so this is my modular set here. And I got a flat base wall, a flat top wall, a flat wall with a bar across it. And then I started taking these kind of ideas, and I've got 3 door sections with windows, without windows, with different size windows, and then created upper walls like so. And then I created some AC units that I can pop in there. And so essentially, I mean, this pretty much was done in like 2 or 3 hours. The base flesh of it. I spent some time on, modeling this car here and working on that stuff. So, all right, I gotta take this. I will talk to you guys later.